Have you ever wondered if an ancient message buried beneath the ruins of one of humanity's first civilizations was not written for the people who discovered it, but for people thousands of years into the future? What if a Sumerian text described a warning from Enki, a figure associated with knowledge and creation, who believed humanity would one day lose something incredibly important? According to interpretations of this mysterious tablet, Enki was not trying to predict a disaster. He was trying to leave behind instructions, a message meant for a future generation that would exist after a great loss of understanding. Today we are exploring the ancient story of the Sumerian tablet that describes what Enki supposedly begged future humans to do before it was too late, and why this message continues to capture the imagination of historians, researchers, and those fascinated by the mysteries of the ancient world. Deep within the history of ancient Mesopotamia, the Sumerians created one of the most remarkable civilizations ever known. They developed writing systems, complex mathematics, astronomy, legal traditions, and advanced methods of agriculture and engineering. Their achievements appeared so suddenly in the archaeological record that later generations often wondered how such a sophisticated society could emerge so quickly. The Sumerians themselves had an explanation. They believed that certain knowledge came from beings they called the Anunnaki, powerful figures who were connected with the origins of civilization itself. Among these figures, Enki held a unique position. Unlike warriors or conquerors, Enki was often described as a being of wisdom, creativity, and understanding. In Sumerian mythology, he was connected with the Abzu, the deep waters beneath the earth, a place associated with hidden knowledge and the source of creation. He was portrayed as a designer, a guide, and a protector of humanity. Many ancient stories describe him as a figure who helped humans survive difficult moments and preserved knowledge during times of crisis. The mysterious tablet connected with Enki presents an unusual idea. Instead of speaking only to the people of his own era, Enki appears to address generations that had not yet been born. The message is described as a warning to those who would come after a period of forgetting. The word forgetting in this interpretation is not simply about people losing memories over time. It represents something much deeper, a loss of knowledge, understanding, and connection with the past. The idea behind this ancient message is that civilizations rise and fall in cycles. They gain knowledge, develop powerful systems, and eventually experience a decline, where important information disappears. According to this interpretation, Enki understood that such a cycle was approaching and that he could not prevent it completely. Instead, he attempted to preserve enough knowledge so that future humans could rebuild what had been lost. What makes the story especially unusual is the claim that Enki did not command future generations. He pleaded with them. In most ancient texts, gods or divine figures are shown giving orders, making declarations, or establishing laws. But this message is described differently. Enki is presented as someone urgently trying to communicate across time, hoping that future humans would recognize the importance of what was hidden beneath the surface. The ancient city of Nippur played an important role in preserving Sumerian knowledge. It was not only a religious center but also one of the greatest locations for ancient written records. Archaeologists who excavated Nippur discovered thousands of clay tablets containing everything from administrative documents to religious writings and educational texts. Among these discoveries were fragments that revealed different versions of Sumerian beliefs and stories. These discoveries created countless questions. Were ancient myths only symbolic stories, or were they preserving memories of ideas that originated from much older traditions? The Enki tablet, according to some interpretations, suggests that humanity once possessed knowledge that was later forgotten or hidden. It presents the possibility that ancient people believed history itself moved through repeated cycles of discovery and loss. One of the most fascinating parts of the story connects Enki with the famous flood traditions of Mesopotamia. In the ancient Atrahasis epic, Enki warns a human survivor about an approaching catastrophe. Instead of appearing openly, he communicates indirectly and provides instructions for survival. The survivor builds a vessel and preserves life through the coming destruction. Traditionally, scholars view these stories as mythology, but within the larger interpretation of the Enki tablet, the flood becomes part of a bigger theme. The flood is not only about destruction, it is about preservation. The important thing was not just saving human lives, but carrying forward knowledge that could help rebuild civilization after a major collapse. This idea changes the way the ancient story is viewed. Enki's purpose was not simply to rescue humanity from every danger. Instead, he was trying to ensure that something valuable survived. The knowledge, skills, and understanding needed for future generations could continue even after a great disruption. The tablet's message, according to this interpretation, contains three important requests for future humans. The first is to remember the origin of knowledge, not simply to admire ancient civilizations, but to actively search for understanding and question what has been lost. The second is to look beyond accepted explanations and examine hidden layers of history. The third is to recognize that there may be a limited opportunity to recover what has disappeared before the cycle continues. Whether this story is viewed as literal history, mythology, or a symbolic lesson, the message carries a powerful idea that reaches far beyond the ancient world. Civilizations are not only built through discoveries, they survive through memory. Every society depends upon the preservation of knowledge from one generation to the next. Libraries, monuments, written records, and oral traditions all serve the same purpose, ensuring that the lessons of the past are not forgotten. When knowledge disappears, societies become disconnected from their own foundations, forcing each new generation to rediscover truths that were once already understood. History repeatedly shows that great civilizations can achieve extraordinary progress, yet even the most powerful empires are not immune to decline. Wars, natural disasters, political upheaval, economic collapse, and the simple passage of time have erased countless books, monuments, and scientific achievements. Entire languages have disappeared, leaving behind inscriptions that scholars still struggle to understand. Every lost manuscript and every damaged tablet reminds us that human knowledge is far more fragile than it often appears. It is this combination of established history and unanswered questions that keeps Sumerian civilization so fascinating. Genuine archaeological discoveries often inspire new theories, while mythology continues to spark the imagination of people around the world. Although historians rely on evidence and careful interpretation, legends such as those surrounding Enki continue to encourage discussion about humanity's relationship with knowledge, memory, and the passage of time. In many ways, the story serves as a timeless reminder rather than a prediction. It suggests that every generation has a responsibility to preserve what it has learned for those who come after. Scientific discoveries, historical records, cultural traditions, and shared wisdom all become part of humanity's collective memory. When these are protected, civilizations grow stronger. When they are neglected, valuable understanding can gradually fade away. Perhaps that is the true legacy of the ancient Sumerians. Beyond their remarkable achievements in writing, mathematics, engineering, and governance, they demonstrated the importance of recording ideas so they could survive long after their creators were gone. Thousands of years later, their clay tablets still speak to us, not because they answer every mystery, but because they continue to inspire new questions. And perhaps the greatest lesson hidden within these ancient records is that the search for knowledge is never truly complete. Every generation inherits the responsibility to preserve the wisdom of the past while continuing to explore the mysteries that remain unsolved. And maybe the most important question raised by the legend of Enki is not whether an ancient being truly sent a message across time. The deeper question is whether humanity itself is capable of recognizing the warnings hidden in its own history. Because if there is one lesson repeated throughout the rise and fall of civilizations, it is this: knowledge can disappear, but those who continue searching have the power to bring it back.